All right, we are getting underway with the Season 10 Artificery League Finals. Be a best of three here between Reflex and RuinedShadows. I am a little bit in love with both of these decks. I know I've been saying that a lot throughout this top cut. But these guys are solid players. I'm excited to see them both in the finals. I'm excited to see the classic Yoda, Leia versus Vader matchup. Uh, Back when Yoda Leia was more predominant in the meta, it was going to be against a Vader Greedo. But things change, things move on. The only thing is, I have to remind everybody um, this is pre rules errata, so no answer is live all the way through. I think that's the only thing that's been touched in either of these two decks. And we see a couple critical cards pop out for Reflex right off the rip. Very good roll, very good opening hand. And then RuinedShadows also gets most of what he wants. So you can he's definitely going to make use of that suppressive fire. He's definitely going to play that force meditation. Meanwhile, Reflex will be able to run out a vigilance to try to stop any shenanigans if things get out of hand. And he should also be able to play Darth Vader's meditation chamber. The only thing doing that does against him, though, is it kind of decreases his damage potential round one, and it really puts his Vader's Fist at risk. So seeing him navigate that decision point is going to be kind of interesting. So we'll see if he actually plays the fresh supplies, the respite, to try to get to Fist, or if he just runs out that meditation chamber right away. I think both avenues are appropriate. I think his opening action is going to get Darth Vader into the pool to turn on Fighting Pit, which is what he really wanted to have starting off. It gets him out ahead of the suppression fire, so that won't be in effect until round two. It lets him play it by ear, because if he pulls money off of Vader, then he can just play the fresh supplies, get Fist down, respite the FOST to pick up $1 if he needs it to resolve the Fist, and say, you know what, the power of the Fist ahead of Flames of the Past is worth more to me than a couple cards that I could get off of the meditation chamber. 120. Yeah, okay. Yep, didn't miss anything else there. We are underway. Vader comes out with a medium roll, 3 damage and a blank. RuinedShadows, no point in playing Suppression Fire now. Time to see what he can get. He wants to keep money up for Channel the Force, but he also really wants to play Force Meditation. But he doesn't want to play Force Meditation on Leia, so opening action, roll Leia out. Makes sense to me. Representing a medium Motivate there. Motivate for 2 cards out of 5 is not incredibly scary, but it might prompt Reflex to play the Meditation Chamber. And it does. Makes sense there. Now, even if he does get something motivated away, he can drop Vader's Fist back on the bottom of his deck, get it out of Flames of the Past range. Keep the second copy live, or even play that copy at the end of the game. He can take a look, weigh his odds, and try to finish out with that super, super strong die. Now, regardless of what happens here, I think the next action is going to be a Fighting Pit from Vader. Good opportunity is even to take care of that money side. That money side represents a lot of possibilities for RuinedShadows. And even losing, 2 cards out of the 4 or a 1 in 6 chance out of losing 3 cards out of the 4, I think is worthwhile for him. Even though that would put him down into no answer range, things get a little weird at that point. Respite, pick up the dollar, pick up the card. Reach the stars is pretty good. May not play it this turn, may play it the turn following. But that dollar does get vigilance up and running. The only thing that Reflex has to worry about is his sequencing from this position in making sure that if Vader's fist hits his hand, it goes to the gets discarded, it goes to the bottom with his first meditation chain. Depending on how he wants to go about that, there's a couple ways to keep that safe. You can say, you know what, it's good to go for 1 round. It can sit in there. I can just pop respite on the bottom earlier on. Meditation chamber. Questions going on there. You don't get to draw the card unless you heal. But you still get to put a card on the bottom. But as I was saying, I think a good and valid play is to just pop whatever he can on the bottom right now. And then pick up the fist if necessary with the meditation chamber. There's no way to interact with that forced meditation die. Doesn't want to lose his money to a disrupt, but I don't think RuinedShadows is willing to resolve a Yoda die for disrupt. Really wants to make use of Leia's power action. Pressure is on to take as many cards as possible under the threat of that meditation chamber, adding at least 1 extra round, if not 2, to this first game out of the best. Fighting Pit on Yoda. 2 damage to nothing. I think that might have been a mistake. I remember to. I'm going to ask Reflex about that decision because being able to take a damage on Vader to turn on the card draw on Meditation Chamber can be extremely useful. And if you're going to pick a die to hit, I don't think moving off of Yoda discard into Yoda special is particularly appealing. Maybe trying to vigilance bait, but RuinedShadows really wants his channel to Force Online. So I think he's going to go ahead and resolve this Yoda special, pick up a couple of bucks. I guess he's going to pick up $1 anyway. See what he decides to do. And he's going straight for that hand. All Saber, best defense, critical card for Reflex. I am 100% sure that RuinedShadows is not sorry to see that go away. It's like he's taking a peek through the discard pile. Respite, Forsaken, Maul's Lightsaber, and the best defense are in there. I am getting better about tracking these things. I'm sure I'll mess it up. Going for a reach the stars. He wants to slam damage right now. Gets his 6. That's going right into Yoda. You got an upgrade on Yoda. I've got Meditation Chamber. I'm getting an extra round. I'm turning off your Channel of the Force, which is Spotted Jedi. I don't think Leia is. Leia is a leader. Turning off Channel of the Force, and I'm going to make it really difficult for you to keep up. I think Reflex claims from here just to stay on Fighting Pit. Could get a lucky kill right on Yoda. Does claim. We'll see the suppressive fire get dropped. Probably see field medic get played. Yep. Essentially the same thing as playing the armor plating. I don't think in this matchup there's any difference in the two, except he wants to keep armor plating for astrogation. Just to find his edge, eat a die there, and he ends up with force jump. Another strong reason to target Yoda early if he doesn't have it in hand at the start of the game. Get out from underneath that Spectre. He's got no events. He's got no mitigation other than armor plating and force jump. So Yoda, 8 life virtually remaining into a suppressive fire, which will help quite a bit, but he's going to get chunked. Respite is going to play right into Darth Vader's lightsaber. And then a probe is sure to follow, which unfortunately for Reflex will hit nothing, but when there's nothing to hit, it doesn't feel absolutely terrible. I guess he was going for the Fear and Deadman play, which is still available, but I don't agree with taking it on a 3 side. I think you just got to burn a character down and advance your board state, especially if he has to pass up the opportunity to play this Vader's lightsaber. Double focus. Pretty good. I think we'll see 3 damage go into Yoda. He is going to pop the Fear and Deadman. $14 health remaining for RuinedShadows if you count the riot shield. I think I called armor plating earlier. Same. Question is he going to play Lore Hunter? Or is he going to play Force Jump? Or is he going to go for absolute max? Jump on out there by resolving the resource side and leading into the second Force mid. I think there's a very strong argument to be made that going with Lore Hunter, ditching a card, and then overwriting at the end of the turn with Force Jump was a better way to go. You want the Force Jump out because you want to shore everything up. You don't want to spend too many resources on Yoda. He's only got 5 health left, including the Riot Shield. And things are just not my favorite line of play in just leading out with the Force Jump, because the most you can hope for it at this point, either blank out of a 1 1/3 chance of a Fighting Pit reroll landing back on damage, combined with whatever you got from either Yoda's specials or the Force Jump being naturally specialed. And we see Reach the Stars get put down, which I really think that should have been Fist. I suppose he's not under pressure to get Fist on the bottom until he draws his second Fist. So that certainly applies. But I would still feel a lot better in his shoes if that Fist was on the bottom. I don't think Reach the Stars being 1 card underneath of it is going to hurt him too much, unless a very strange situation comes up where he has a deck left and Fist out. And in those situations, you're going to want Fist to be as low as possible. But it's almost impossible to call that far ahead of time. Blank on meditation and jump, but a shield and a special on Yoda could turn into 3 cards off the top of the deck. Yoda, Leia power action taking an additional 2, but hidden motive is going to try to block that out. Reflex almost assuredly saying special. He does. But see here, yeah. RuinedShadows could just discard Holocron here and kind of go for broke. But he could also just resolve this Yoda focus. A couple different ways you can go. They're both relatively equal. I would go for broke at this point with how wounded Yoda is. You want maximum value out of every single option. I think if he was going to re-roll those 3 dice, he should have re-rolled Yoda focus as well. Find a special. Right now, he should be re-rolling the Force jump on its own. So a small edge loss there. Not completely for nothing, though, but he did miss out on an additional roll off of the Force jump to try to find that shield side. Everything is important. Everything matters. Certainly going to see Force Meditation get resolved blind here. I think that's the important play. I think Reflex is waiting to see if he focuses over to a Yoda special. If he focuses over to a Yoda special and Leia 2 discard, then RuinedShadows is representing no answer at that point. Reflex would be forced to probe for no effect because all he would hit is a Lore Hunter in hand. And that's another missed opportunity by RuinedShadows there to get just a little bit of value. He could have gotten that probe out of Reflex's hand, but now it's going to survive until next round unless it gets discarded with Leia. And that might be a problem. Fighting Pit used just a reroll on Leia's die. It goes off, but no effect. And now RuinedShadows should discard this Lore Hunter and reroll just the Leia die. It's a blank. Not happy with that. Now it's a question is, does he value the deck or does he value the hand? I think you resolve that Force Meditation die, get a little more information. Make your decision about whether to go for Leia discard or Leia power action after you get your info off the deck. And so far, this game is a game of very small edges lost, very small decisions, very small opportunities, force actions out of Reflex that are being kind of passed by. Says he's going to take the 2 off the top blind. It's a Vader lightsaber and a Sinister piece. And that will be the end of the round for Reflex. He's going to go ahead and claim his Vader's lightsaber in hand is safe. Second Sinister piece and the second best defense gone out of Reflex's deck. And Yoda picks up an additional health there with the shield. And 5 health feels a lot better into Vader than 4 health does. But Reflex does draw, sees the day. So he could respite Vader's lightsaber, roll out, save sees the day for the next round. But I know he wants to get ahead of this Force jump. So the problem is that if all he does is kill Yoda this round, and Leia still sits there with 9 health remaining, there's a possibility that RuinedShadows might just pull it out. There's only 9 cards left in deck, and the bottom 2 are, I would say, relatively immaterial. Firing off a probe right off the rip, knows that his hand has got to be event heavy with the upgrade heavy hand that he had last round. Sees the flames of the past go away, clears the way a little bit for that Darth Vader's lightsaber. But I certainly think that he could just Vader Meditation Chamber the other lightsaber on the bottom just to be sure. Hidden Motive, Pacify, Motivate are pretty good events to have in hand if you are Ruined Shadows, though. Doesn't get a feel-good Motivate. If Respite pops off, then Motivate will certainly get you. But if not, things are just going to proceed as normal. And that is a 2-side from Vader. It is almost on the edge of being pacifiable. I say do it because in this situation, Vader would be spending a card to reroll 1 Vader die rather than the possibility of him rerolling 2 Vader dice right now and getting more value. And then after the power action happened, if it happened at all, then you could motivate and get not the worst card in Reflex's hand out of there. Tiny, tiny edges. I do think Mill is extremely favored in this matchup. And so all these small slivers that Ruined Shadows is handing away might come to nothing. He might get the win on Fighting Pit, which would be a huge blow for Reflex. And if it doesn't feel weird. Best defense going on the bottom. I'm gonna take a look there and we'll get a refresh on what was put on bottom. Reach the stars and best defense. Vader's Fist coming up too, so stay tuned to see if that happens. Yoda rolling good stuff. Vigilance definitely coming out right now. Ooh, no, seize the day instead. Fighting Pit's gonna be a Fighting Pit resolve. Ooh, he's fighting it out with Yoda. Gets 2 damage. Should just get blocked by the Riot Shield. 2 damage going to slip in underneath that force jump, I'm sure. That's not enough to put Yoda down, especially when Yoda does have 1 shield going on him, which will shore up his defenses for sure a Stormtrooper rollout. It also has Pacify, because why not? Reflex very heavily considering tossing Vigilance, I think. Reroll that shield side. Be a big blow. You should look at the discard and see where the pacifies are. We'll see what decision he comes to here. Opts just to resolve. Yoda hanging on by a thread. Now, Ruined Shadows should have a bit of breathing room right here. Got a force jump, he's got Pacify, and he's got Hidden Motive. No additional damage statistically should make its way through here. And I believe should just, pull the card, prevent the reroll, and that lets him utilize Hidden Motive as a reroll on Force Meditation and Yoda, just to try to pull more cards out of deck, get him down to like 5 cards in deck remaining, maybe 4 cards. Looks like he really values that Hidden Motive in that Pacify. He's just going to resolve Leia's 2-side. Going to see 3 cards disappear off the top of the deck, which means Reflex will have virtually 11 cards in deck because Meditation Chamber definitely going to get used next round. And he might draw the card. There's the second Vader's Fist gone. So Vader's trying to get this done with just his dice remaining. Yoda picks up one more shield. I think that should have gone to Leia. All that additional shield does is get you out of Vader's 2 side, which is pretty immaterial. Second probe for Reflex. And a useless Flames of the Past, useless Force Jump. Pretty much useless Repulse. Coming down for RuinedShadows. Can't afford not to roll Yoda first. So Repulse is not going to work. That Foresight demands an answer. That answer should 100% be Pacify. So if he hidden motives here and misses, then Reflex gets 1 card to reroll 2 Vader dice. He'll definitely take that opportunity. Put the pressure back on. So Pacify is the way to go. 1 card for 1 die reroll. Is he forced to draw a card? You can choose not to. I think he is forced to draw the card off of Meditation Chamber. Fresh supplies coming out. Reroll. Nothing spectacular there. And maybe the smart move is to not roll Yoda out here. A 33% chance of instant Yoda death off of that fighting pit. He doesn't want to spend any effort into removing Vader dice before he has to. He's only got the hidden motive and the repulse left. Repulse needs dice of 2 different colors. I think the play here is roll out Leia, bait re-rolls out of Reflex, or pull cards from hand. And whichever Leia die doesn't feel good, repulse that thing away with a Vader die that does feel good. That can't happen. I can reach the stars goes away. That gives Shadows a bit of breathing room. I don't know why he paid 1. I mean, I get it. It's paying 1 for 1. But in this situation, if Yoda falls, you really need those Leia dice to pick up the slack, and so that additional reroll might have been worthwhile. It's going to be 2 reach the stars on bottom and a drawn best defense. Surprising that we are that deep in the deck. I don't know why he's playing right into best defense. He knows it's near the bottom of the deck. Saw him put it down there earlier. Probably get popped off right now. Probe fired away, taking away 2 options. Hidden motive, only thing standing between Yoda and death. And if Yoda rolls out right now, it's a 33% chance of death regardless. 5 cards left for Reflex. 6 if you count next round's meditation chamber action. Will not trigger a draw. I think Reflex is planning for next round instead of this round. Very possible that unless things go really wacky, that he holds on to this best defense for next round just to keep his bottom card safe, hand safe, everything good to go. That's 1 damage into Vader, not enough to trigger a forced draw, and 2 damage from Vader into Yoda off of that fighting pit. Lucky for RuinedShadows. I think right now he probably should just get while the getting's good. Resolve shields just to eat 1 Vader die. Every die that Yoda eats for no effect feels really good right now. He could pick up 2 shields, clear that bottom card off the deck just because, and then transition Leia over to a 2 discard, which will prompt a best defense. I think that's the way to go. No matter what, you end up with 2 shields on the board waiting thereafter, so even after the other Leia die gets nabbed, you'll end up with a bit of shields for Leia, and then that 3rd shield for Yoda. What he absolutely cannot do is discard this hidden motive. He also can't afford to just sit and wait, I don't think. He's not going to be able to force jump if both of those Vader dice end up back onto damage. I think just resolving the Yoda special right now is getting what you can get. And he's going for the full kill, which is a mistake. He should know that best defense is on the bottom. If best defense gets played right now on both of these focus dice, that certainly sets RuinedShadows back. Reflex is trying to see, is he going to focus both Leia dice to 2 discards? If he does that, then best defense becomes the critical play of the game. Blank for FOST, as is tradition. A weird line of play that he could take is to put both force jumps on special. And 1 Leia die onto discard. Best defense at that point probably still played. Weird. Taking care of just 1 force jump, 1 Leia die. There'll be a shield left over from meditation. Put Leia with 10 health left. And virtually 4 cards leading into what should be the final round of the first game. Double force jump might be the answer. Double force jump and 2 discard might just be the answer. RuinedShadows working it all out. Kicks the can down the road. Solves double shield. Out discarded. Vader dice re-rolled. FOST die re-rolled. No damage. 2 shields, 2 blanks. We are now in dangerous territory. So now you absolutely represent having no answer. And I think you focus Leia into those double discard sides. And then you force Reflex not to discard to re-roll again. I think by focusing the force jump there, that signals that you don't have no answer and you're worried about additional damage coming through. I think just focusing to the double discard sides would have been better. Then best defense gets played, but Reflex has to do a soul read as to whether or not that last card remaining in RuinedShadows' hand is no answer. If it is, Reflex absolutely cannot re-roll. No matter what results he gets on his dice, he would lose the game. Another tiny edge loss. Where Reflex goes from. If he best defenses, and I think he should just best defense, Leia's die, and the force jump. Yes, at that point, RuinedShadows would have a 1 in 3 chance of getting something that would either prevent reroll or win the game immediately. But it's certainly no worse than trying to reroll under the specter of a force jump, and Yoda needs to die this round. I think in giving away that he doesn't have no answer, RuinedShadows, by moving the force jump die to a special, I think that's a strong enough signal to flex. I think he's the kind of risk taker that will try to reroll right now. Gonna beguile. Same thing, same, I guess. One shield. That's also not a great result. That's would keep Yoda out of range of a 3 side. I think he definitely blanks out the Leia and removes. You do what you want to do. I think RuinedShadows' best play, try to get value out of that Leia die. And he's just going to get double passed. Hidden Motive was absolutely worth the reroll there. You know, 1 in 3 chance. All you have to do is draw no answer at that point. Keeping Hidden Motive in hand, you get only 4 additional cards instead of 5. Does get his no answer. The Resistance Ring will take the card off the top of the deck. He just needs to resolve 1 effect. For discard, and that is 6 damage showing from Vader. That's his best rollout yet, I think, other than that restart play that did 6 damage as well. It's certainly getting pacified. I don't think it's possible for Reflex to use Vader's power action. I also don't think it's possible for him to resolve. He's in a terrible situation now. If he resolves the damage, then he's relying on First Order Stormtrooper on Fighting Pit. If he doesn't resolve the damage, then Yoda comes out immediately to try to either resolve discard sides or get double force jumps in the. I don't see a way for Reflex out of this game 1, which is a huge blow, considering it was on Fighting Pit. On Fighting Pit with Meditation Chamber from round. And it's very possible that Yoda just doesn't even die. Disappointing thing, the demoralizing thing from Reflex's perspective is not like Leia would have died either. You're pumping out the damage at the rate at which you can, and nothing's coming of it. This feels terrible. Best defense definitely gets played here. And hopefully RuinedShadows, for his sake, remembers what Meditation Chamber does. Yeah, there goes the no answer. Meditation Chamber was going to get used just to get a card back. Resistance Ring is going to follow. Yoda's going to roll out. He's got plenty of sides. Clear cards anyway. Just rolling Yoda out and displaying a special should finish it off. But he's going to pass, which is the smart move. Meditation Chamber and then Resistance to get rid of it. And game 1 goes to RuinedShadows. I'm going to do the risky thing, mute my mic, come back in a minute here while they get all. Yeah, it does. All right. He does get his draw. I mean, all right. I'm just not even gonna. All right. Getting everything cleared up. Wow. He'll be able to draw the card off of Edge. Fair enough. So, Reflex is gonna get his 1 in 3. His 1 in 3 of a dead Yoda. I think you just take the chance. 66% chance of winning the game, minus whatever percent chance that Yoda has to whiff on 2 rolls of his own dice to find a single special or the Force Med special. He's got the discard. Comes down to this fighting pit. Whether or not Reflex gets another round. Doesn't matter which die he chooses. He gets 1 damage. And this should just be an easy focus win. For Ruined Shadows. Even with absolutely no knowledge of what card is in Reflex's hand, just resolving. If you wanted to play super safe, you could resolve both of these force jump shields. Resolve 1 Yoda die for shield. And then focus in. Reflex has no way out here. I don't know what Ruined Shadows is on in particular. He needs to just resolve force jump shield. Maximum save. No reason. Alright. There we go. On to game 2 with an hour 15 remaining. A lot of time spent.